Evening, everybody. Morning, afternoon, whatever it is when you watch this video. It's Wednesday, the 9th, August 2023, I believe. Almost 11:15 at night. Well, anyways, this is a little bit of YouTube. Went out try to check out this new place for a poker game. Excuse me. Getting pretty close to placing for the next tournament. First game, second game. Just getting kind of tired. Figured might as well get on home. But so some things caught my attention. A couple things caught my attention earlier today. I meant to go ahead and make a video and I didn't, which I'm glad because I've actually got two things to talk about. So first thing, DC is calling for the National Guard now because of all of the violence. Of course, Fox, everybody's making a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And I agree, like, why are they calling for it now? You know, I posted a comment, I guess, under the video, wherever I watched that, they're like, what do you think? So it was just another YouTuber. But I told him, I said, I think it's setting something close to this, a dangerous president. Yeah, because they keep using that word a lot the past few months. But anyways, the point. If they activate the National Guard, and I know it wouldn't be the first time the U.S. has ever activated the National Guard for something, but if what they keep referring to as gun violence instead of, people violence, if they activate the Guard, even in one of the videos I was watching from Fox News, they're referring to it as already calling for martial law. So, anyways, it's setting a dangerous precedence because what if they start going after the guns instead of the people committing the crimes? I mean, you could always refund the police. I think that would be an option. But I'm not going to get into too much of all that because, well, Washington, D.C. is wanting the Guard now. To help clean up the mess they created. That's just bottom line. When to defund the police, what did you think was going to happen? Now, the next thing caught my mind a little bit was the Biden had an interview on the Weather Channel. And the person giving the interview, I was just listening to him when I was driving home. I asked him if he'd be doing a lockdown because of the climate crisis. And he says, I believe the answer was he practically has. I know that he practically had done something, but either way, Democrats, if you want to know what they're doing, just listen to what they're accusing the Republicans of. Now they're just kind of putting it in our faces like, look, we're going to activate the National Guard. I'm not going to say they're going to use the National Guard to go take people's guns right away. But I think another thing to keep in mind is if they activate enough National Guard, everything going on at the border, they're definitely not going to be heading down that direction. Like I said, at some point, possibly before election time, well, the Democrats have already said they're going to make sure, they repeated themselves from the first election, that he's not going to win. So they've already said that, more than one of them. I said they're going to make sure he ain't going to win. That's not going to happen. So if the Guard's already there, and the next election comes in, and they say Biden won again, with more people, it seems like, waking up, then they'll probably see what a real insurrection is. Maybe, maybe not, but with the Guard there, probably not. So, what they're telling us is martial law could be a possibility. It'll start in Washington, right? It's always got to start somewhere. could be another lockdown coming up. These are like predictions, right? A little bit just coming from Fox News, and I also want to go back to one of the other videos, and I guess it was Montana. We went to those gun shops and got all the. I have to go back to my notes, forget the numbers of. But anyways, all the papers that hold all the information of the guns you've purchased, and where you live, and all that. Why they did it in Montana, I don't know, but it's the same route spy balloon went down. So that's always worth noting. So the climate crisis is going to get bad enough before elections. So there'll be the mail-in voting thing again. That's going to happen. If the guard goes to D.C. or not, who knows? A lot of people are saying, they voted for it, that's what they should get. And I know I kind of said it too, but at the end of the day, the citizens are asking for help. They need the help. But when you got a socialist, communist-driven administration activating the military to go against the public under the pretext to clean up the streets of criminals. Now let's think about who a criminal is also, since I even worded it that way. A criminal to them is a MAGA Republican. We are the greatest threat to democracy. What else is a threat? Besides them trying to push the climate change agenda. Yeah, okay, if it's getting hotter, it's getting hotter, whatever, but if you've read the Bible, you already know we're not going to destroy the earth. So, climate change having to do with us? No, not one bit. We're not going to do it. We're not destroying the earth. You don't even have to read the whole Bible. Just go to Revelation. It's at the end of the Bible. Start reading, looking around some of the things that have happened. That some of you referred to that goat herders wrote. Well, they're pretty smart people for things becoming true over 2,000 years later. But so what else is going to come? Oh yeah, they keep pushing this Green New Deal. Fox did an analysis or whatever. It takes 15 minutes to fill up a diesel truck, and then it can run about 1,200 miles. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to charge an electric semi-truck for it to drop about 250 miles. So we're almost going to be back to the, what do they call it, when they deliver mail on horses? Can't remember right this second. Well, anyways, postal mail, I guess, on horses. Might be a little bit faster than that, who knows. So we're going to have mail-in voting because of lockdowns, because of the weather. DC's getting prepared for Biden to be president again. Either way, it's not going to be Trump winning. They already said they're going to make sure of that. They said it's the first time. Some of us already know. Some of you are just like, no, no way. And you know what? I even actually put this on social media. Something to think about. All right, because about 3 years in now, I guess. So, which is actually a scarier thought. We have a government that's so corrupt that they would actually come up with hoaxes, lies, blah, 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 propaganda to get rid of one person, rig election, even slam the door on every American just to make sure you got rid of one man, put someone else in office, or, that many people actually voted for Joe Biden. Because it's one of the two. I'm going with the first one. It was rigged. Sorry, I'm scratching a lot. I have to take citrus. Call them no witch pills, anyways. They don't know what I'm allergic to. They just know I'm allergic to something. Talked it up to stress at one time. Allergic to stress. Imagine that. Don't stress me out, man. I'm allergic. Yeah, that'd be great. So I'm just kind of looking at the time because all to the point in 10 minutes. All right. This is what I see coming again. DC uses the National Guard. I definitely foresee them going after the guns instead of the people committing the crimes. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get rid of. I think, is DC a gun-free zone anyways? Or just extremely hard to get guns? I honestly forget. I don't care. I don't plan on going back to DC anytime soon. So that's going to happen. Get the National Guard. Hopefully while they're doing that, they'll start refunding the police. Who knows? Got the lockdown coming because of global warming. Maybe another pandemic, maybe not. Maybe they saw where they messed up. Maybe they're trying to get it right this time. I haven't really been keeping up with everything. I'm not sure if they still got the any kind of real investigation going on about the Wuhan lab or not. Coming after guns. Martial law. Let's just go and call for martial law. Definitely in D.C. If it happens in D.C., I just wonder if the president would try to mandate it everywhere, especially, right, if they're going to call for lockdown because of the global warming crisis. So lockdowns, military on the streets. Trying to think of everything that I heard. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. DC lockdown. Biden being interviewed on the Weather Channel. Kind of being coerced or being pushed to answer. If I'm pretty sure it was like we basically have. I'm about a lockdown because of the global warming. The interviewer's pushing the issue, trying to get the answer out. I guess the Weather Channel, and according to Fox News, is a big donor to the Democratic Party, so there's a big chance to kind of push the agenda. And they're not going to let Trump win again. So lockdowns to get the mail-in votings, right? Because that's how they did it last time. If they're really going to be pushing electric vehicles, then we're going to be getting really short on supplies because it's just going to take forever for it to get there. Anybody else starting to notice a whole lot of different name brands in the stores you go to or frequent? I guess it makes sense. They want some of the new people coming in to have some of their creatures of comfort, I guess. Comfort foods, right? So I'm trying to beat the AC kicking back on. I think that's everything. That's what's coming. There's still still pushing all the other agendas, and just seen something the other day. A kid got arrested for open air preaching. That's kind of crazy to a kid at a drag queen show, I think, maybe, or a pride moment. He wasn't even preaching about what the Bible says about living a homosexuality lifestyle. He was preaching verses about love. So go figure. Yep, I'm not going to take up nowhere about anybody's time. So coming after our guns. I almost want to bet before election. There's going to... Because that would be... If they know... Alright, how about this? Let's try to look at it like this. If they know they're not going to let Trump win, then they're either going to come after the guns, or maybe certain states, let's say blue states, will follow suit and go after guns along with DC, leaving enough out there for people to get mad about the elections being rigged again and hope that people get done with guns. So then they can really release the military and have a reason in their eyes to be able to take our guns away, which something we'd be doing is getting rid of a tyrannical government. But there's a quote: when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. But when the government fears the people, there is freedom. I think that's always worth keeping in mind. So they're either going to come after the guns before elections, or things will be so heated up it'll already be in the process in certain states, like I said, and then the final wave or final push right after elections when Trump doesn't win again. It'll be Biden, or it's going to have to be Biden. Those are what they're saying are the two heaviest contenders right now, which blows my mind that Biden has any kind of polling. But definitely doesn't prove that many voted for him. Just they call it, people have Trump syndrome. No, people got Biden syndrome. People just like what Trump have to say. I guess people like what Biden have to say and enjoying the idea of America falling. But so lockdowns one more time. Think about the weather. That's the lockdowns. DC wanting the National Guard. Because if DC goes and they get the National Guard, then where's some of those anonymous zones at? I mean, maybe they'll clean those up too. Maybe those cities are ready. Who knows? But I think we could definitely make a logical bet that DC gets the National Guard activated, then it's probably going to fall in other blue states. So there's going to be a domino effect, and they're just going to be setting the stage. Either A, because they know, like I said, already telling people, just like they said the first time, Trump's not going to win. It's not going to happen. Lockdown's coming. National Guard's going to be a domino effect. I guess the big question is if it's going to, obviously lockdowns have to happen before the election, but the Guard being activated, they'd have to do that before election, so they're already mobilized. Put them where they need to be at. Like I said, DC does it. It's going to follow suit in the blue states. You know, there's an argument out there, and I haven't done the research. Maybe some of you have. They're saying there's some of the highest crime rates are in red states. Now, if that's true, now they're putting it on the state, but where the crime's at, is that a blue ran city or town? That would be the question I have. Just because it's a red run state doesn't mean you don't have, a Republican run state doesn't mean you don't have a Democrat somewhere in there messing things up. I mean, come on. Alright, almost 20 minutes. I think I've hopefully got everybody thinking. That was the original. After I stirred away from breaking down movies a little bit, coming out of the rabbit holes, it'd be like, man, have you guys heard of this? Get your brains thinking. I think that's what we got. Activate the National Guard first. Then the lockdowns, because then they're already on the streets. Keep people in their houses, especially for election. Maybe a push in the biggest areas that are for people not having the right to protect themselves or get their own food. Be a push for the guns there, and then go after the red. But that wouldn't be until after election, with Biden still in office. Maybe, like I said, they'll get some in selective areas first, just leave enough out there for people to get dumb, because after all, we're deplorables. So if we're the ones initiating the fight, we're going to be the first ones to go. That would be all part of their plan. The possibility mix of another virus or just a stronger coronavirus, maybe, maybe not. But I think I heard somewhere, or read somewhere, the vaccines, they've upgraded them. I think would be the best way I could put it. I really didn't read into it because I didn't get it the first time, not getting it, period. take my chances. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Oh yeah, slow delivery for necessities. For our grocery stores are necessities. Everything else, electronics, blah blah blah, that's not necessities. But maybe with the way people are wired nowadays, if we didn't have internet or something, then that might be another thing, right? Internet blackout. Because the last thing they want us to be able to do is communicate with each other, especially once the military's on the ground. So let's line up these possibilities. Because we already know we can be hacked. It's happened. So, alright, let's start from the beginning. Let's try to guess the steps. The guard will get activated in DC. Then will come the global warming lockdown. Semi trucks might be, maybe, I don't know, I have to look into it, but if they force the semi trucks to go green electric, if they're forced to do it, they're going to slow down the supply chain. So where am I at? Dadgummit. Activate the National Guard. Lockdown. Disrupt the supply chain. Simultaneously going after guns in blue states or in areas that are highly in favor of people not, again, being able to defend themselves or get their own food. Because they have a fetish for criminals hurting them, I guess. Alright. Dadgummit. So like I just got back from playing poker. I just wanted to get this video out while it was still fresh in my head instead of taking, cause I already kind of took all day. I was going to get it out this morning when I heard about the DC thing. So DC activates. Lockdown. Go after guns. A little bit before elections, like I say, get just enough. That might be a stupid move though, but if they already know Trump's not going to win. Disrupt the supply chain. Rig the election, obviously. But what massive thing could they do? Well, they got the whole UFO thing coming out there, so there's going to have to be something in between the guard being activated and the lockdown. It's going to have to be a big fear factor. I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of what's I think is coming. Sorry for all the delays on the thoughts. But we definitely got something to look forward to. It seems like it ain't gonna be pretty.